Well, I can't see any leaks on it. That's just the smoke from the smoke tester. I really can't see any form of leakage at all. I thought it might be leaking around the Valvetronic seal, motor seal, but it's not. So essentially, I can't find an air leak. It looks like someone's actually recently done the cover on it. So the main issue with it running rough, in my opinion, when I pulled this off, it hasn't run rough since. You can just see in there, it's full of engine oil, that. And engine oil conducts electricity, believe it or not. So I need to clean that out, and maybe that's just from when they did the bloody job. When you look, all the whole bloody wiring's full of bloody oil as well, which is not good, because it could go to the engine ECU eventually with capillary reaction. So on this particular job, what actually happened was I did a smoke test because it was running lean. Every now and then the idle was up and down like a fiddler's elbow. Now I did find quite a few things on this. I actually replaced the fuel pump and the fuel pump pressure regulator in the tank, and that actually kind of stabilised the fuel pressure, which was constantly flicking. But unfortunately after that there was still a few issues. It was better, but it weren't perfect. So cut a long story short, basically by unplugging the Valvetronic motor, it fixed the problem and it started to run on the throttle. You always remember on these BMWs with Valvetronic, if you pull the Valvetronic off from the eccentric shaft sensor, so the Valvetronic's disabled, it will just use the throttle anyway and it'll run perfectly. I mean, Valvetronic's great, but when it fails, that's what happens. So the video really ain't about that. The reason why it happened, you'll soon find out in the video. It was something what someone had done, something very stupid, what they'd done actually. So let's take a look at the video and you'll find out exactly what was causing this unstable air mass. Partly it was the Valvetronic, of course, because the Valvetronic would sort of randomly stick because it's got worn teeth. So the air mass would be wrong because the valves were either open too much or not enough. But after that, even when I disconnected it and ran it on the throttle, there was still an air mass fault. So wait till you see what I found, it'll blow you away. Same old story, they trade a car and some other poor sod buys it, then he finds all these problems. Let's check it out. It's just been running like a bag of spanners again, and I've identified basically I think what's wrong with it, this Saga. When it was running like a bag of spanners though, the air mass was staying the same. I made this adapter up now just to check it. 3.7 volt. I don't know why I didn't check it because there's no fault codes, but it's intermittent. And it sounds like there's an air leak, but I smoke tested it, couldn't get any smoke to come out of it. But it does sound like that, but I smoke tested it, couldn't get out. But the Valvetronic, it's full of oil in here. And I disconnected it with the engine running. It ran rough, and then of course the throttle took off and it ran perfect. Now I can't get it to fault. Well, as you can see, it's running like a bag of spanners. And it's all since I've cleaned the mass airflow meter out. Because it's basically, like, in my opinion, it's buggered, you know. So I'm going to find another mass air meter. But what's happening now is, after I road tested it after this, it don't cut out anymore like it was doing. It was cutting out, well, every now and then. And on ramp when I do that, it don't cut out anymore, whereas it did before. So I still think this is kind of 50-50. I do believe, I think John Kidd mentioned that he thought it might be something else. And in a sense, he's absolutely right. But I do believe there was an issue with the fuel pressure because it's a lot more stable now. And even when it was kind of not running like this, it was just flickering a bit. Now it's more stable, it's bang on needle bump move. But there is this underlying issue that I've never spotted. You know, it takes a certain kind of complete moron, an idiot, I would say.
So what they've done, they tried to make a homemade breather in this American style air filter cover, which you throw away after every service and swap the air mass meter. That's what all that is left behind there. And the real reason on the vehicle is, as I said, the Valvetronic teeth are worn, so the motor skips every now and then, makes it run rough. But also the idle speed is up and down because of the contamination of the air mass meter itself from all this emulsion, you know, from whatever breather was there in the past. So it's essentially what's wrong with the car was the Valvetronic, and there was an issue with the fuel pressure regulator.
So what they did, they put a piece of copper pipe in, or whatever it is, and this is an American import, so this is a box that you have to throw away and swap the air mass meter every time you do a service. As you can see, I've actually cleaned that up a bit. I need to do a bit more yet. They left it in a hell of a state. You can actually see there where some has been using a screwdriver in there. You can almost see it. They've been basically levering this thing, this metal. That's the air mass meter, that bit there. And that's probably full of oil. And like I've been saying for weeks and weeks, all I'm doing lately is detective work to find out what some dickhead has done before I've had the chance to work on it. And this is what the job is these days, unfortunately. So essentially that was it. Once I'd actually replaced the air mass meter, I erased all the adaptions, pulled the Valvetronic off, give it a road test, everything was bang on. So basically the guy's now driving the car only on a throttle, because it's going to cost a fortune now to change the eccentric shaft. You probably open a big bag of worms and they'll be find more things. So we'll go down we'll go through a rundown of what was wrong with it. So fuel pump was absolutely just contaminated to anything. It was all, there's a couple of, I think I did a short about that, but it was all just like dirty and worn and all rusty inside. And then the pressure regulator was causing the needle to flicker. There is a video somewhere on my channel about that. Then we had the Valvetronic worn teeth, and then we had this homemade breather system what they'd done, and then the contaminated air mass meter. So with the new air mass meter on and just basically running on the throttle, the car's perfectly okay, but it needs a Valvetronic eccentric shaft. I'm on my audit at the moment now, so I'm, I don't have access to all my files and stuff. I have a lot of stuff like at work, a lot of recordings. So, and in a lot of the cases as well, I don't always have enough time to video everything, like, because I've been extremely busy the last couple of weeks. It was like absolute chaos, because everyone's on holiday and like I was rushing to go on my holiday, so I didn't have a chance to record the final result really, unfortunately, so you'll have to just take my word for it. Just one other thing really, call to action I suppose if you want to call it. Channel's not doing so good at the moment. Really could do with everyone watching it to the end, because YouTube's very brutal at the moment. I'm having more success on TikTok, frankly, to be honest. I gained 3,000 followers nearly in 2.5 weeks, and something like 8,000 likes and I don't know, hundreds of thousands of views basically in 3 weeks. So I need to get the YouTube the same, otherwise YouTube won't push my videos. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Plenty more to come when I get the time. See you all soon.